trying to rework some of the album. They were doing some shit in there, but they were
Yeah, yeah,
fucking
yeah.
some of the tracks from Black Basket.
Mm-hmm.
And soon after, um, Doom moved back to Long Beach, and he moved into 39 Broadway.
Yeah.
You remember that, right? Do you remember when
Yeah, yeah, no, I remember because
Quest
unfortunately
lived in
when
that same building? Quest had lived in that same building at one time.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that's when he
When
was staying.
Sub passed, that's the
Yeah,
apartment he was still
exactly.
in. Yeah.
Right. He was staying there with his girl and his son at the time.
Mm-hmm.
He was staying there
Yep.
with his girl and his son. Okay. Then after that, I guess he broke up with his girl or whatever, but he had moved back in with his mom, and he was struggling a little bit. You know what I mean? Um, he had lost his equipment in the storage, because I don't know if you know that story, but
Mhm. I don't remember that one. No.
yeah, they end up putting all their equipment in storage, and Subrock had the key, and nobody could find the key once he passed, and they couldn't get the papers because
Yeah,
it
yeah, 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 yeah.
was under somebody else's name. So it was just a sad story. He had a gold record for Gas Face. He even lost that in the storage thing.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So that's what me and
That's
Doom
right.
really
Damn.
started becoming. That's what me and him really started becoming really close and friends, because he was kind of a little under the. He was unfortunate at the time. He was going through a lot of fucked up shit, and I wasn't, and I was trying to help him out. I had equipment at my spot, so I was like, Joe, just come over here, do your shit. So I would let him come over. He'd write his shit. You know what I'm saying? Some of the equipment he didn't know how to fuck with, because some of his shit was different than mine. But I would show him how to do it. Then he would start learning it, and then we would start making shit together. And this was
Mhm.
before he even came up with MF Doom. Okay, but he just had Doom, and then after a while he met Grimm, and then he put the MF in there and all that other stuff.
Right.
But he was just coming up with the ideas, you know. And I would be sitting around him, and we'd just be like, drinking beers and smoking weed, and he's just like, he'll sit there for fucking hours, just like sketching shit out of like his little master plan of what he was trying to do or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So it was like crazy, and I was like witnessing this shit, you know. But in the beginning, all the first 12 inches, they were all done in my crib in Long Beach. Um,
Mm.
so we recorded like the vocals, everything there, and then we just gave it to Bob, and Bob would send it off to get it mastered and stuff like that, and then put it on record. So after a while, Doom started coming up on some money. He started getting shows and stuff like that, and he was able to buy some of his own equipment. He moved in with Flock. Remember, he moved in with Flock when Flock was living in Jamal. You remember Jamal?
Yeah, 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 yeah.
He moved in with Flock and Jamal when they was living uptown.
Uptown. Yep.
Yep. And he pretty much bought the same equipment that I had, so me and him could correspond back and forth. You know what I mean?
Gotcha.
So we would correspond back and forth, and that's pretty much how the Doomsday album was made. It was I hear a lot of different stories, but the album was made in Long Beach and Manhattan, because most of the stuff was tracked in Long Beach, and most of the vocals were done in Long Beach. And then when he went to Manhattan, he fixed he was using it to fix shit up, and you know put the final touches on it. You know.
That's where I think I hear sometimes about Stretch Armstrong, I believe, right?
Hmm.
Like he did some stuff there. Right, right, right. Yeah, so they don't that part doesn't get mentioned too often though.
Yeah, I mean, it's not that glamorous, I guess, or whatever the case may be, and and I'm not the me and Search are not the best of friends, and we have never been that. You know what I'm saying? So, and I got no animosity against Search at all, but that's just what it was. And
Yeah.
but you know, it always the real stories always come out anyway. The truth always comes out no matter what. So
Yeah. Nah, it's interesting though how they, certain things get left out, but
yeah.
like you said, it always comes out. Now the last thing, and then Sin-seer, I'll give it back to you. So 1999, 2001. I know there's like a re-release in 2001,
Mm-hmm.
right? But obviously you had already worked on it before the re-release.
Yeah,
Well, I mean, at least like the recording and the vocals and all of that stuff was done
yeah,
with you. So
yeah.
that's by the time 1999, when it comes out, you were already involved.
Already what?
You were already involved. I mean,
Oh
when
yeah,
it came out in
yeah.
1999.
No, when
Right.
the second release came out, all they did is remaster it. You know
Okay.
what I mean? They didn't
Yeah.
change anything else. They just remastered it.
Gotcha. Okay.
But I mean, yeah,
So you guys were a part of the early Fondulum movement earlier on?
pretty much. Yeah, pretty. I would say pretty much. Fondulum had already put out, I think the Cenobites or something like that. They put out a few records before us. I think there was a Cage record also that came out before Doom. But we were in the early
Cage,
12-inch, things up. I mean, I would even go to Footworks with Doom when he was trying to get them, to put the record out and the whole shit, And me and Bob was